These stories' featured posts are available on Reddit, a social news aggregator, a user-generated content rating system, and a discussion forum where users may post content and have it reviewed by other users are just a few of Reddit's many features. No report's correctness or truthfulness can be confirmed by our team. Josh Duggar is definitely worthy of his current role. Critics of the family have long criticized him for his lack of character, even though he was sentenced to 12 years in prison for collecting and having documents related to child sexual assault. His detractors contend that he frequently displayed his character over the 10 seasons of 19 Kids and Counting, particularly when he wed Anna Duggar. Josh's role as Anna's garbage husband on the reality show has been documented by a vociferous subreddit of Duggar haters. Additionally, there were a lot of instances and memorable stories. There were roughly 250 comments. In a post titled, "All of the Known Times Josh the Pest Was a Garbage Husband to Anna on the Show," a critic asked the public to join in. Let's be honest, their whole marriage is in shambles. But the sub always brings up how Josh was unattractive to Anna on the original 19 Kids show, the person on Reddit said. 2 incidents were described by one Reddit user. Anna being forced to carry her own luggage to the motel after their wedding, with the creepy picture pillow in tow. And another described Josh calling Anna the master of swallowing during her first pregnancy visit to the OBGYN. However, the discussion contained many additional examples that were equally, if not more, disgusting. Although we haven't verified all of these, the critics in this well-known community are very familiar with the show. As one reader put it, his proposal to her was actually a declaration that he was claiming her. Another remembered those awful photos taken on their honeymoon in North Carolina. The look of utter fear on Anna's face. Having Anna drive all the way across DC to bring him lunch at his FRC office, another person commented. Another source also reminded her of the time she slept on the toilet after giving birth to her second child. Another Reddit member commented, and the gall to verbalize how exhausted he was as his wife was pushing out his child on the toilet. Regarding the situation, he probably stayed up all night watching PRN. He is intolerable to me. In the Reddit conversation, someone remarked, underneath the table when pregnant. The day the family went shopping and Anna, who was quite pregnant, was carrying all the kids and strollers out of the vehicle was another instance that was mentioned. Josh, however, did nothing to help her with HIS own kids and instead stood there looking annoyed and tinkering with his phone. For what? Another reader commented, every time they both do the interview together his disgusting face shows how much he disrespects her and how beneath him she is, in reference to a play scene that keeps coming up. Someone insisted that she ride the Ferris wheel despite her fear of heights. Her automobile wrecked, leaving her stranded on the side of the road. She was forced to change the way she slept. This was probably her first time in the aquarium, and according to another account, he wanted sex and wouldn't let her stay. Moreover, when he referred to her as a working model, according to another, truly reveals his feelings toward her and her position as his spouse. Furthermore, even when it was discovered that Josh had cheated on her and was connected to the Ashley Madison episode, Anna appeared to be more worried about him than about herself. That time on Counting On when Anna was discussing the Ashley Madison scandal and how she threatened to turn a mess into a disaster, recalled a critic. Over the years, the Duggar family, known for their reality series 19 Kids and Counting and then Counting On, has generated both praise and criticism. The toxic relationship between Josh Duggar and his wife, Anna, is the most startling part of the Duggar family's tale, not their big family or their conservative beliefs. Even though Josh's previous behavior has garnered a lot of media attention, his husbandly behavior and the hurtful effects it has caused Anna have been closely examined for years. This article will examine the problematic aspects of Anna and Josh Duggar's relationship as well as the incidents that lead detractors to call him a garbage husband. The first disclosure. The notorious scandal. When it was discovered in 2015 that Josh Duggar had assaulted several young females, including his sisters, while still a teenager, the Duggar family's reputation was badly damaged. Josh's life and marriage to Anna Duggar were significantly impacted by this revelation, which was made public by an explosive exposé published by In Touch Weekly. But the way Anna, who was then expecting their 4th child, supported Josh made this news much more painful. Anna's decision to remain with Josh was condemned by many in the wake of the controversy. Some even called her an enabler. Despite the harm that her husband's prior behaviors had done to their family, her own self-esteem, and her emotional health, she publicly showed forgiveness for him and decided to support him. This was the start of a string of poisonous and unhealthy dynamics in their marriage. The cheating scandal, a trust betrayal. The Ashley Madison hacking incident in 2015 brought Josh Duggar's name back into the public eye when the molestation controversy was still fresh. Josh Duggar's account was discovered among the millions of users on the website, which is notorious for encouraging extramarital romances. This information revealed that Josh had cheated on Anna during their marriage, in addition to his previous behavior. Anna's emotional state was further harmed by learning of Josh's adultery, leaving her devastated and defenseless. Anna was reportedly devastated, but she decided to stay married to Josh in spite of the public betrayal. Critics saw this as yet another instance of Josh's disrespect for his family and wife. Although Anna might have been frantic to preserve her family's reputation for the benefit of their kids, many said Josh's behavior revealed underlying problems with his personality and how he treated Anna as a partner. The absence of growth and accountability. Josh Duggar's actions remained indicative of a lack of development or responsibility in spite of the scandals and betrayals. Josh, Anna's husband, never really accepted the seriousness of his actions, especially the long-lasting emotional toll they took on Anna. Instead, he hid behind a facade of redemption and forgiveness, unable to truly own up to the suffering he caused her. Josh stated time and time again in interviews that he had learned from his mistakes and that he was determined to become a better man. But his behavior gave a different impression. Many thought Josh's public apologies were more of a damage control tactic than a sincere attempt to make amends. Anna was consequently forced to live with someone who had demonstrated no regret and had persisted in acting in ways that contradicted his purported resolve to change. The persistent abuse and manipulation pattern. Anna Duggar has experienced emotional manipulation and mistreatment in a number of ways during their marriage. Critics contend that Josh Duggar's actions go beyond his previous crimes and infidelity to include his ongoing emotional abuse of Anna, which frequently took place in public. Josh gained notoriety early on for his domineering behavior and disrespect for Anna's emotional health. Despite the obvious flaws in their marriage, Josh's actions seem to be focused on upholding the facade of the ideal Christian couple. Anna, who is frequently presented as the devoted wife, contributed to this stereotype by putting her family and beliefs before her personal happiness. But as time went on, it became more and more clear that Anna was having relationship problems. Her emotional needs were often disregarded, and she was cut off from her friends and family. Anna's emotional weariness was exacerbated by Josh's persistent deception and actions. Rather than being a helpful spouse, he tricked her into thinking that her devotion to him demonstrated her fortitude and faith. Even though it was obvious that Josh was not making the effort to mend their relationship, Anna remained stuck in a loop of denial and decided to keep her marriage intact. Josh's insufficient marital effort. Josh Duggar, a garbage husband, consistently showed a lack of desire to build a loving and healthy relationship with Anna. Josh's actions revealed that he was not as dedicated to their marriage as Anna was. Even though she continued to uphold the principles of her family and faith, he seldom accepted responsibility for his deeds, and his attempts at reconciliation frequently came across as flimsy. Josh's actions after the scandals that rocked his family were particularly indicative of this. He was more concerned with upholding his public persona than making significant adjustments. Because she was supposed to forgive Josh while he continued to disregard her needs, Anna felt stuck in a destructive loop. Josh's repeated errors also demonstrated his lack of personal development. He consistently let Anna down in terms of respect and emotional support, failing to demonstrate that he was a trustworthy partner. Without her husband's help, Anna had to endure the consequences of Josh's conduct all the time, frequently by herself. The Battle for Independence by Anna Duggar. It is evident that Josh's activities have had a significant negative influence on Anna Duggar's emotional and mental health, regardless of how their marriage is portrayed in the media. Anna has suffered from the loss of trust, the public humiliation, and the intense pressure to remain in a marriage that was obviously dysfunctional. Anna has begun to exhibit signals of wanting independence in recent years. A rising yearning to restore her agency and identity is seen in her subtle departure from the public narrative of the Duggar family and her transition to a more private life. It is clear that Anna's strength rests in her quest for healing and discovering a path that is genuine to herself, despite the fact that many have criticized her choice to remain with Josh after everything he put her through. In conclusion, the disintegration of a poisonous union. Josh Duggar's darkest moments as Anna's spouse have exposed a pattern of emotional manipulation, betrayal, and neglect. Anna is in a vicious circle of anguish and emotional distress as a result of Josh's activities, which include the horrific molestation incident, his infidelity, and his lack of accountability. Many refer to him as a garbage husband because of his many failures as a partner, which show a profound disrespect for his wife and family.